What's going on, guys? My name is Juan Suarez, and if you're watching this video, it's because you are thinking about purchasing a home, hopefully in the next 12 months. And if you're not, you are in a perfect situation to kind of lay out the plan and foundation towards home ownership, whether it be in the next 6, 12, 24 months, 2 or 3 years, whatever it takes, as long as we get you to home ownership at the end of the day, that's what counts. So let's get out of that rental you got. Let's get you guys into the purchase, hopefully purchasing a home soon. So here is just a home buyer assessment. This is kind of what I go through with all my new buyers. So this is just an overview. So kind of step one is to find a realtor, hopefully myself. If not, somebody that you've been recommended. Be sure you look at their Google reviews. Be sure they've been doing business. Like I think the best way to look at it is on Zillow. You can just Google, for example, Juan Suarez Realtor Zillow. You'll see all my reviews, how many homes I've sold in the past 12 months, and that way you get an idea. Because if you get recommended a realtor and that realtor's not um, hasn't done business in the past 6 months, it's probably for a reason. So I'd recommend taking a look at their reviews, seeing how much business they have done in the past 12 months. So second thing you got to do is you're going to get pre-qualified. So I work with several lenders depending on your situation. I have my primary, kind of my preferred lender, if you will. She's great. She's super informative. She is awesome with first-time home buyers because she's very thoughtful in her explanations. And then, for example, recently I had a client who self-employed. She was not a good fit for my preferred lender because different lenders have different programs. So we went over with my one of my other buddies. He is a amazing loan officer. He's been in the business for a long time. Same, super good with explaining. I was able to explain to them a special program they had for business owners, and we were able to get that deal closed. It took a little longer than usual, but because of the special type of program we used with her, it took a little longer than normal, but we were able to get it done. Super good interest rate, regular down payment. It was awesome. And then your next step would be your home search. Once you get pre-qualified, we know how much you qualify for, we know what your payments are, and now we can go look for the house. So once we find the house that you're looking for, offers and negotiations, we offer, we negotiate, try and get you the best deal possible. Once we're under contract, there's a few other little tidbits, but we'll get there. Then you go through inspections and appraisals, and then hopefully after all that is said and done, we go to closing. So it's super easy, very, very easily to accomplish. So the realtor, and just about every real estate. So what is a realtor, right? And how are realtors paid? So just in about every real estate transaction, a realtor is involved, be it on the selling side or on the buying side or on both. Um, Basically, realtors can get paid one of two ways: by the buyer or by the seller. Typically, the seller will pay for it. However, sometimes again, it's negotiable. It's part of our deal. Most agents will charge 3%, but negotiable. All our fees are negotiable. That's very important to understand. And the next, so the pre-approval process. So you can choose any lender you want. However, I have a small circle of lenders I work with, like I was explaining to you guys, that are usually willing to roll out the red carpet for my clients. They give you the VIP treatment. Why? Because I bring them business. They're going to take care of you. They're going to explain to you. They're going to give you the best deal possible, so that I continue to bring them business. The pre-qualifying is pretty easy. So usually, if you have a 620 credit score, it's pretty straightforward. After that, 3.5% down. There are options for 0, 20% down, 30-year financing. It just depends on your specific situation. That business owner, for example, had to do 20% down. We ended up being able, somehow, I don't know, lender magic waved his wand. They were able to do it with 10% down. So it just depends. Everybody's situation is a little different. So after we get pre-qualified, it's the home search. So we want to, I think the most important thing is location, right? Because you can change the color of the house. There's different pricing in different places, but I think location, we need to establish where you want to live. Once you establish where you want to live, then we can look at price. Maybe the location you're looking for is not realistic as far as price, and then that's where I'll come in and tell, hey, you know what, homes in this area are, I don't know, $500,000. You're only pre-qualified for 350. We're going to need to go to, your second location preference. After that, we need to figure out what you need. Do you need 4 bedrooms? Are you okay with 3? Do you want 4 but are okay with 3 because you need a flex room, etc.? So it just depends. Everybody's situation a little bit different, but that's the next step. And then your wants. So these are the ones that you're willing to omit from the deal if we can't get them. For example, color cabinets. Do they have to be white? I don't think anybody's cabinets have to be a certain color unless you're building brand new. If you're building brand new, you get to pick the color. A pool, is a pool deal breaker? Is it a must? Because if you want a pool, guess what? Instead of looking at a list of 150 homes, we might only be looking at like 15 or 20. So it definitely reduces the pool of potential homes that might meet your criteria. And then what's the most important? Like, what is the most important thing you're trying to accomplish? Is it monthly payment? Juan, I want the best bang for my buck. I want my lowest monthly payment. Did you know that in certain areas, taxes are lower than in other areas, making your monthly payment less on more sales price? So for example, in a certain area, you might be able to have a $3,000 monthly payment for a $400,000 house versus another area, same price, and your mortgage payments $800 more because of the taxes in the area. So, what's the most important thing to accomplish in this real estate transaction? You might not care. You might be, Juan, I'm tired of renting. I need a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home anywhere in El Paso with the lowest monthly payment I can get. So after we find the house, we go to offers and negotiations. So everybody tells me, so why are they selling the house? And I usually don't know why they're selling the house, but every seller's motivation is a little different. So as far as I get asked a lot, what's the most I can get reduced off the sales price? Well, that depends. If that seller is very motivated, they're willing to do more off the price, or they're willing to cover your closing costs. But if that seller's like just selling because they want to move, but they don't have a job offer anywhere yet, or they work remotely, they can work from anywhere. Everybody's situation is a little different. So that's the offers and negotiations that go into selling and to purchasing a home. Once we're under contract, we will need to get earnest money deposit. So this is once we've already agreed on a deal. We need to get your earnest money deposit within 72 hours of execution into the title company, as well as your option period. Your earnest money is just a deposit to take the home off the market. We're signing a contract, giving them earnest money and option period, and telling them, Mr. Seller, please take this home off the market because we are going to now proceed with our mortgage company to try and obtain the loan for this house. So they pull their home off the market. It's now going to say pending, and more often than not, sellers don't want to show the house anymore. They don't want to deal with it, and they want to sell you the house. So option period, what the option period is it's going to give us some negotiation power. So usually I ask for 7 days of option so we can send an inspector and make sure the house is in good shape. If the house is in good shape, then we proceed. If the house needs a few details, we can try and negotiate them. Some, again, depends on seller motivation. Some sellers are willing. Most sellers are willing. Like if something's, I tell my clients, if it's a used home, if it's a brand new home, you get everything fixed. If it's a resale home, it just depends. So keep in mind it's a used home. It's gonna have some wear and tear, but we want the house to be safe and to operate properly. So we don't want any leaks, any busted switches, things that don't work. We want the house to operate in a safe manner. So we always try and get those things negotiated. And appraisal. So appraisals are going to be about $700 to $800. Oh, and your inspection is going to run you about $300. It just depends if you want to do anything extra other than the basic home inspection. Your appraisal is going to range from I've seen them as low as 600 all the way to 850. Um, that's going to be a cost to you that you need to purchase. So keep in mind that's going to be an additional cost from your closing costs, down payment, and earnest money. Sometimes if you buy a brand new one, they will refund you your appraisal, or they order it for you and they just don't charge you. So it just depends. Again, everything's negotiable. No two deals are the same. The appraiser is going to come in, make sure the home is worth what you're purchasing it for, because the appraisal is basically done for the bank, because the bank needs to make sure that they're lending you $350,000 on a $350,000 asset. That is the appraisal. So after appraisal, usually we can close pretty shortly thereafter. On closing day, you'll bring your cashier's check, your ID, and that cashier's check is going to include your closing costs and down payment. And or down payment if we do the zero down. Again, everything is a little different for everybody. VA buyers don't have to down payment. For some home buyers will not bring a down payment, but they'll cover part of their closing costs. It just depends. You'll sign your documents, all the legal instruments, including the deed of trust, the promissory note, which is all explained by the closing officer. Usually we get keys after closing and funding. What that means is you sign your documents, you give them your down payment. That paperwork gets sent back to the mortgage company. Mortgage company makes sure you didn't miss any signatures, make sure they give it another look through, make sure the numbers were correct. Then they give the title company the okay to fund. The mortgage company the okay to fund. That means they wire the money to your title company. The title company is a third party that handles all the money basically. You bring them the down payment, they give the down payment to the mortgage company lends the rest of the money, sends the rest of the money to the seller. So they're just kind of the middleman. They're not working on behalf of the buyer or the seller. And then that's it, you get your keys. And your first mortgage payment is usually due about 45 days after closing. So you get a freebie month, and then it's due the following first of the month. Again, it all depends on when you close, taxes, all that stuff. So, yeah, that's a very kind of a quick overview of what you do, how you purchase a home. So, if you found this helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, go ahead and send me a DM, an email, or even a phone call, the good old fashioned way. You guys have a good afternoon.